So this is what I would call the end of the Saints Row saga over here on my channel. I've been making a whole bunch of Saints Row videos for the release of the game and just trying to the best of my ability, be upfront and be as honest as possible when talking about this game and how I feel about it. When it comes to the first video, I was talking about how I wasn't interested in it, but just simply wanted to branch off and start doing reviews for day one titles and just giving you guys the best quality and the best value for watching my channel and letting you guys know whether the game was worth your $60. And of course, got a lot of hate from that video for some reason, and I made a secondary video. And then from that, I went on to make my review, which I told you guys not to buy the game for $60, but I enjoyed it for what it was. Also gave you guys my dislikes towards Saints Row. And you guys can watch all of those videos. It'll be linked in the description. I'll have it in a playlist. But this is the very end of it. And what I decided to do was to go back to Saints Row 2. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I don't think I've ever said that I beat the game, but to let you guys know in full, I've never beaten Saints Row 2. Ever. I've never beaten Saints Row 2 ever. I've tried multiple times, but there were just a lot of things, stopping me from doing it. It's just like, number one, the game is on last gen. It's a last gen title. I'm a PlayStation boy. I have a PlayStation 4. I have a 360 also, but at the end of the day, I don't really want to boot up my 360 because it's just a whole hassle. I have to get all the cores and start hooking things up, and then I have to go to like a GameStop that has a copy of Saints Row 2, or I have to buy an overpriced version of the game on the Xbox Live Store for a console that I will probably never use ever again, nor an ecosystem that I'll probably ever use again, because I'm just not a fan of Xbox and what they deliver, and everything that they deliver can be delivered on PC, which I already own. So it was a huge hassle. And then also, you can find Saints Row 2 on streaming services where you can kind of play it over a stream, but when it comes to that overall, I'm not getting the quality that I really want, for a game that's that old. It should be running perfect. And I don't feel like perfect is what you can achieve on streaming platforms. I've tried it. It runs okay, but not perfect. So, I couldn't play it there. And on PC, I've tried multiple times, but there are just things that I can't get over, like the fact that on PC back in those days, when this game originally came out, they didn't have controller support. Well, they would have the controller. You could hook up your controller. It would have vibration, so they had minimal controller support, but you wouldn't see the button prompts, and also it just didn't play the way you expect it to, especially given how PC has took steps forward in that effort. I could just hook up any controller and it just works. Can't really do that with Saints Row 2 in 2022. And also, the PC port was really bad for back in the day. Like, if you have any graphics card that's like well and above what was the standard back then, and you're trying to run the game at 60 frames per second, you're going to run into a lot of issues with cutscenes. The game is going to crash on you a lot, just simply because it was just a bad PC port. And, I have a nice graphics card, so me trying to run it at things that it should definitely be able to achieve, given it's a game that came out in the late 2000s, it just crashes on you because it just wasn't optimized that well. So it's been really hard for me to get into playing Saints Row 2. And I decided after playing Saints Row the Reboot and hearing all the criticism I got, and also hearing all the discourse, not just to myself, but looking in the comments, looking at Reddit, looking at Twitter, and just seeing how people are, having discourse on this game. Number one, y'all motherfuckers on both sides are very toxic. I've learned that through my efforts. Like, if I'm negative towards the game, the people who liked the game or was excited for the game was being toxic as fuck. Some of y'all had valid criticism. I'm not finna just say everyone just had toxic ways of going about expressing themselves, because there were very valid criticisms and people who were nice in the comments and just expressed their opposing criticisms. And people also, like, if someone says you're fucking shit, and I'm like, you guys are toxic, and then they'll be like, you don't like valid criticism. He just said I was fucking shit. What the hell? What is the valid criticism here? But okay, tangent. But there was valid criticism in the comments, but I would say it was mostly just toxic people on each side. If I disliked the game, people who liked the game would be toxic as shit with a little bit of valid criticism. If I liked the game, people on the woke side of the community, super toxic ass niggas, they would be like, oh, you blah 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 blah. And then there would be like Saints Row 2 fans who had valid criticism, and then there will be toxic Saints Row 2 fans. Like, on both sides, there are just toxic, trolly ass niggas in the Saints Row community, and it's just like, what the fuck? Y'all are weird. But it made me want to go back to Saints Row 2 and see, what I was missing out on. Though I've played Saints Row 2, I've probably played like 3 missions at most. I always knew about the Ronin and Aisha and Gat and how that, came across. I knew there was a Jamaican gang. I knew that a lot of the customization and the way of going about how Saints Row is came from Saints Row 2. And given that I've played and beaten the game within the last week, I've given myself a little bit of time to just go ahead and just enjoy the game. I installed some mods onto PC to make sure that it was playable and up to my standards, and I'm so happy I did that and invested into modding the game. It was called the Gentleman's Mod or something like that. That mod is a lifesaver. It gave me Xbox prompts. It also allowed me to play the game at 1080p 60 frames per second, or actually unlocked frame rate. Had no problems with the frame rate. It just ran so beautiful. Minimal crashes. I think the only crashes that I did have was a matter of the game just not wanting to be exited out of. It's not a fan of you pressing the Windows button or alt tabbing out of the game. It will crash if you do that, no matter if you have the mod or don't have the mod installed. Some people say there's a workaround where you have to like install this forced Windows full screen app. I never did that because I was just like, I'll just deal with it. I have OBS hotkeys so I can record and I don't have to exit out. And I wasn't really, multitasking while playing the game. I wanted to put my full focus towards it. So I just kept it in full screen. And if I really had to like alt tab, I would go to windowed mode and then I would alt tab that way and the game would be fine. Also, the mod allowed me to skip all of the progression, quote unquote progression, because I felt like Saints Row 2 had terrible progression. If you would call that progression, I don't know if you would, but essentially the respect meter, I hated that shit. I have to do side missions to progress the main mission, and there are a lot of main missions, so it would have took me forever if I would have had to do all the side missions and get my respect meter up and all that stuff, which is the benefit of having the PC version, honestly. I can't imagine doing that. That's one of the things that if I was to play this game on console, I wouldn't have gotten far, just simply because all of the, I would say level gating, even though it's not an RPG, is kind of like level gating to stop me from progressing the story. I didn't like that at all, so I'm glad that the mod allowed me to experience the story and the gameplay without having to deal with the side missions and constantly having to go do side missions to get my respect meter up. The story, I'm gonna just say, like, the story is amazing, man. Like, the story is it is the best Saints Row I've ever played, and that's weird because I said I liked the Saints Row Reboot and it was probably better than my favorite, but it's definitely not better than Saints Row 2. And I have a problem with how, Volition has said they're going to be going back to their roots and that they didn't want to dark and gritty. They wanted to evolve with the industry. And it's like, honestly, if you wanted to evolve with the industry, Volition, you should have just went back to what you did in Saints Row 2 and how gritty and it wasn't even really dark. There was humor, but it wasn't like humor like Saints Row 3. The humor wasn't in dialogue. The humor was just in irony. It was irony that it was funny how, the boss would kill people and how Gat would be so vulgar and just like ready to kill. It almost felt as if Saints Row 2 was ahead of its time. I felt like the game was serious, but at the same time, it had the tone that now we respect in games. Like, it's not really pushing an agenda, but it's just telling a grounded story. And it felt like these were actual characters in their lives experiencing ups and downs and defeat. Like when one of your compadres, I'll say, I don't know, one of your gang homies got caught lacking and they pretty much attached him to a truck and drove him around. And you had to kill them before they killed him. And then eventually, once you killed them, you went there and saw that you couldn't really do nothing for your fallen brother who had been literally road burned across a small section of the city, right? And he's like on the brink of death and you can't really do nothing about him and you have to kill him. You just shoot him. Like, that was like, it felt different. Like, it felt like nothing Saints Row has achieved in Saints Row 3, Saints Row 4, Saints Row, got out of hell. Really grounded story. Like, you felt that loss, you know what I'm saying? Considering that the person who had died was almost like a kid, you know what I'm saying? And you had, the boss had aspirations to make him a gangster. And he just lost his life. And you had to put him down like a dog, you know what I'm saying? Like, you had to put him down. It touched me, you know what I'm saying? Like, it really was good storytelling with Gat and Aisha. Y'all all know what happened there. It was breaking. And then with the rival gang showing up to Aisha's funeral And Gat is like, I don't want to even do this right here in front of Aisha, right? Like, I just want to warn my girl that y'all killed. Like, we could do this any other day, but right now. And they wouldn't leave. So then you have to, then Gat just went the fuck off, and then he's like, get up. Y'all know what I'm talking about, y'all. If y'all played the game, y'all know what I'm talking about. He just like, get up. Get up, bro. Like, he just beating this nigga ass, get up. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was iconic. It was iconic, you know, by all means. Like, I don't know why they decided to break off so heavily. Like, I could imagine if I was a Saints Row 2 fan back when Saints Row 3 came out, I would have been pissed because it's nothing alike. It's almost like they rebooted Saints Row with Saints Row 3 because it was a complete tonal shift. And even though it was the most successful Saints Row 3, like I said in my review, it was the most successful, and that was the grounds they wanted to go back to. I just feel like, honestly, it's like they're taking themselves out of the race of being taken serious. It's like they had a very serious title worth awards, and had they gone back to that, they would have gotten awards. But they were just like, no, we don't want to be taken seriously. We want to be known as a jokey ass AA shit studio. That's essentially what Volition did with this new Saints Row. And I understand people. I really do. I understand why people would be pissed at this. Now, the whole go woke, go broke crowd, I'm gonna just say, y'all are becoming what y'all dislike. Y'all are attacking people, attacking companies, attacking art for essentially not going along with your propaganda. Just like LGBTQ and just like feminists. Y'all are Anita Sarkeesian reborn, but for the dark side. Like, y'all don't realize this, but y'all are shitting on shit just to shit on it now. And y'all are shitting on people just to shit on them now. It's almost like y'all are becoming what y'all hate. So that's just what I'm gonna say for that, because y'all are assholes in your own right. And I used to be one of those go woke, go broke people. I would say to an extent I still am. Don't bring no woke shit into my franchises that I love. Like, if they make a Grand Theft Auto and you play as your main character is like, you know, I don't know, whatever. I don't want to get into the politics, but I don't like people just ruining my franchises to push a propaganda. That's like, I just want them to be themselves, to create what I've grown to love them for. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want no agenda pushed upon me. And that's my main problem with, you know, like the mainstream audience and not the mainstream industry right now that we're in, and how they're pushing agendas and stuff like that. But other than that, I just want a good product. But the go woke crowd is like literally becoming the cancel culture for the dark side of the community. That they're like the red pill cancel culture, which I never thought would exist because they were anti-cancel culture. That's what I thought they were. You know, they were anti just hating for a propaganda. They just wanted art. That's what I assumed woke was, or the anti-woke community was. But they're becoming the dark side of what they hate and what they despise. So I don't really get it. But at the end of the day, I enjoyed me going back to Saints Row 2. And this is the end of my little Saints Row saga. No more Saints Row videos on my channel for now. I'm going to go back to my little news stuff. And until, you know, we get some more games coming out, I think I'm kind of done. I'm kind of done with these type of videos for now. I think I'm going to play God of War Ragnarok. I have some stuff to say about Last of Us and how that's selling and how it's doing and how it's reviewing. But other than that, the whole Saints Row saga is over, bro. I appreciate you guys for joining the crew, for the people who came over. I've gone up like at least 90 subscribers since I've started making the Saints Row videos and stuff like that. So I appreciate everybody who's joined the crew, and I hope you enjoy the content that's coming to the channel. And check out some of my old stuff so you can expect what's coming to the channel, you know what I'm saying? But I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.